Corporate life is defined by a specific type of mounting pressure. You are constantly dealing with the threat of AI automation making your role redundant, while navigating office politics, where a manager's personal ego can determine your appraisal and job stability. This creates a psychological contradiction. You might dream of owning a business to capture the upside of your own work, but your risk tolerance has been conditioned to demand the absolute safety of a traditional 9-to-5. That safety is maintained by the salary drug, the predictable monthly paycheck. It acts as a narcotic, numbing the stress of the corporate grind, just enough to keep you from walking away, even as it erodes your ability to handle uncertainty. Then there is the white-collar ego. Years of professional identity can make you refuse any work that isn't clean or high status. This fear of failure is often just a fear of getting your hands dirty with the manual, unglamorous labor required to start something new. When you combine salary addiction with this inflated ego, you end up in a vacuum. You spend years researching ideas and complaining about your career, but the first step remains too heavy to take. Real-world transitions often start in moments of desperation. Consider a senior retail manager who lost his 10-year corporate job during the pandemic. Stripped of his security, he had to pivot into a field entirely unrelated to his background. He bypassed the urge to wait for a revolutionary idea or massive funding. Instead, he took a minimal loan of 1 lakh rupees and secured a basic workspace for just 7,000 rupees a month, intentionally keeping his initial capital risk as low as possible. He also abandoned his professional ego. For 3 years, he ran a flour mill entirely by himself, handling the manufacturing, the deliveries, and the customer service without hiring any help until the business could afford it. This bootstrapping strategy worked. By eliminating overhead and doing the labor himself, he scaled the business from 80,000 rupees in its first month to nearly 10 lakh rupees in monthly revenue today. Entrepreneurial stability is built through these small, manageable financial risks and a willingness to perform the unglamorous work that most corporate professionals avoid. The challenge changes once you try to scale. In many physical businesses, as soon as you hire help, employees often leave the moment they learn the basics, resulting in high turnover and constant training costs. Simply raising base salaries to keep people around usually fails. It destroys your profit margins without actually improving the quality of the work or ensuring long-term loyalty. A performance matrix is more effective. Offer a modest base pay plus a variable incentive tied directly to revenue and customer feedback. Employees compete to earn more. Because pay is linked to output, they manage themselves, freeing the owner to expand the business. Scaling a business requires treating your staff as stakeholders in the profit, turning their daily labor into a shared financial interest. Many people look for escape in the wrong places. An IT worker making 40,000 rupees a month might try to launch a complex plant nursery from scratch, ignoring his actual strengths. The blind spot here is often right in front of us. This worker's family already owned 40 bighas of land, but he viewed it as a liability because traditional farming yielded very little and was vulnerable to the weather. This is a failure of a learning mindset. He was so focused on finding a new way to earn money, he didn't learn how to modernize the significant asset he already possessed. An outdated worldview can blind you to assets worth millions. The real barrier to wealth is often not a lack of capital, but a refusal to see the value in what you already own. Reframing agriculture through technology changes the math. By using modern polyhouses, farming stops being a manual chore and becomes a climate-controlled, systematic enterprise with predictable yields. This approach allows you to use government subsidies to build infrastructure and polyhouses to eliminate crop loss. Most importantly, income from these agricultural assets remains tax-free. This transition can be low risk. You can keep your corporate job, spend a few months learning the modern farming systems, and prove the model on a small 5-biga test patch before committing fully. Once that patch is profitable, the model scales through consultancy. You can modernize the surrounding farms in your community, taking a 20 to 30% margin on every upgrade you oversee. The most effective path into entrepreneurship involves applying high-leverage, modern skills to the traditional resources you already have access to. Growth is a requirement for survival in any system. In an economy that is shifting as fast as ours, the moment you stop upgrading your skills, your professional value begins to decline. Breaking out requires 3 things: ending your dependency on a predictable salary, starting small enough to check your ego, and shifting from an earning mindset to a constant learning mindset. Owning a business comes down to an ego-free calculation. You take the resources you already control and apply the modern skills needed to make them